is your name, please?
My name is Rufus Harley. My name is Rufus Harley. My name is Rufus Harley.
Only one of these men is the real Rufus Harley. The other two are imposters and will try to fool this panel. Tom Poston, Peggy Cass, Orson Bean, and Kitty Carlisle. On to Tell the Truth with your host, Bud Collier.
Thank you, and welcome again to Tell the Truth. Good evening, panel.
Good evening, Bud.
We're all looking mighty well and happy tonight. Nice music to start things off. We're brought to you tonight by Winston Filter Cigarettes. Panel, please open your envelope, if you will, and follow along with the information you can read there. I, Rufus Harley, am a jazz musician. My major instruments are the soprano, alto, and tenor saxophone, the flute, and the oboe. Not too long ago, I became fascinated with the Scottish bagpipe and thought it could make a unique addition to the sound of jazz. I bought a second-hand set of pipes in a pawn shop and started taking lessons. Although bagpipes are generally played on the left side, I play mine from the right. To the best of my knowledge, I am the only jazz bagpiper in the world. Signed, Rufus Harley. And these three gentlemen all claim to be Rufus Harley, jazz bagpiper. We'll start this questioning with Peggy Cass. Peggy?
Thank you. Number 3, is the bagpipe a reed instrument or a wind instrument?
Both.
Number 1, how many pipes on a bagpipe? Number 1?
3.
3. Thank you. And number 2, you know that big thing that's sort of where the bag where the air is? What is that called?
The bag.
Number 3, in what other countries do they play bagpipes?
Ireland, France, Spain, Greece.
Gee, it's just one place they don't play it is my neighborhood, I guess. Could you tell me, number 1, who's Don Elliott?
I don't know.
Number 3, do you know?
Yes, he's
Orson Bean.
Who is he, number 3?
he's a mellophone player, a tenor saxophonist, a lot of things.
Number 1, what is a mellophone?
I don't know.
Number 2, what is Miles Davis's horn?
What do you mean by
What horn does Miles Davis play?
Tenor.
Number 3, what horn does Miles Davis play?
Trumpet.
Number 1, any kind of a trumpet in particular?
B-flat trumpet.
Number 3, who is the most famous jazz organist?
Jimmy Smith.
Number 1, can you name another?
Well, we have Jack McDuff.
Number 2.
Kitty Carlisle.
Number 3, would you name another reed instrument aside from the bagpipe and the oboe, which is an instrument nobody blows good, they say?
Yeah. Tenor saxophone.
Number 2, what is the difference between a tenor and a soprano and an alto saxophone?
Oh, well, soprano and tenor are B-flat instruments, and an alto is an E-flat instrument.
Thank you. Number 1, what is the bag of the bagpipe generally made out of?
Generally made out of horsehide.
Horsehide?
Mm-hmm.
Is that flexible enough?
Yes, it is.
Number...
Tom Poston.
Thank you. Number 1, do you know who Bobby Thomas is?
No, I don't.
You know number 2? What instrument he played? Number 3? Oh, he's a great drummer. I thought maybe you might know him. Can bagpipes be tuned? Number 3, can you tune a bagpipe?
Oh, absolutely.
How do you tune a bagpipe?
Oh, you adjust the drums.
How many are there, number 3?
3.
Thank you. Number 2, what keys do you play bagpipe music in?
You can play them in E or C.
But they don't have the full range of other instruments, do they?
No, they don't.
Thank you. Number 1, do you know who Doc Severinsen is?
No, I don't.
You know number 2?
No, I don't.
Number 3?
He's a Swedish trumpet player.
Yeah. That's all the time we have. It is time for you now to mark your ballots, panel, so please mark them at once. Of course, without consultation, that goes without saying. And vote, if you will, now for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Our team of challengers will receive $250 for every incorrect vote. All ballots marked? All right, Tom, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 3. I thought they all knew a lot about the subject, but I thought number 2 couldn't have thought that Miles played a sax, and number 1 didn't know what instrument he played, so I voted for number 3.
Peggy Cass.
Well, I voted for number 3 because I was once in a show with Don Elliott, and he does play the mellophone, and well.
Orson Bean.
I voted for number 3 because he has the look of a musician in his eye, whatever that is. I've seen it before.
Kitty Carlisle.
I voted for number 3 because of that fellow that Tom mentioned. I never heard of him, but he said he was a Swedish musician, and so I voted for number 3.
He's a great American musician, but he has Swedish. His parents, he's originally...
What's his name?
Doc Severinsen.
Uh-huh.
Well, there are 4
man.
for number 3. It's unanimous all the way down the line, so that isn't too hard to count up, I'm sure. And with those minds so solidly made up, let's find out at once which one of these 3 gentlemen, in truth, is the jazz bagpiper. Will the real Rufus Harley please stand up?
Oh.
Rufus Harley and his group that are right up here, consisting of Joe Whalen on the organ and Johnny Crossan on the drums, will play Shim Shiminy from the motion picture Mary Poppins. Blow when ready, Rufus. Tell you, Shim Shiminy never had such a shim sound. It was just great, Rufus. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Much continued success to you.
Thank you.
Number 2, what is your real name and what do you really do?
My name is Keith Hazelwood, and I'm a statistical technician for Tri-State Transportation Committee.
And number 3, outside of getting all the votes, what is your real name and what do you do?
My name is Keith Lockhart. I'm a copywriter for the J. Waller Thompson Advertising Agency.
A madman. I should have known.
Well, gentlemen, I don't have to tell you, you did what we call skunk the panel all the way down the line. And in that case, they're all incorrect votes, and therefore a total of $1,000 coming your way. I hope it brings you great joy. You brought it to us tonight, and we thank you for that. Good night, and God bless you. Now, the panel will be back at it in just a moment, right after this film. Now, panel, let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Mitsu. My name is Mitsu.
My name is Mitsu.
Follow along, if you will, please, panel, with your copies of this story. I, Mitsu, was born in France, lived in North Africa, got married in Gibraltar, and am currently living and working in Spain. I have always been interested in the world of high fashion. Recently, I made this interest pay off by opening an exclusive dress shop in Madrid. The clothes which I design are different in that they are all made only of leather and suede. They are completely waterproof and can be cleaned with ordinary lighter fluid. You are looking at 3 of my creations now. This is a black suede slack outfit with a cape lined in red and black stripes. Here is a raspberry suede pleated evening coat with black seal trim. By merely unsnapping a few snaps, this coat can be converted for daytime wear. And finally, a black suede short evening coat with a collar trimmed in jet beads. I am the only designer in the world interpreting high fashion exclusively in leather and suede. Signed, Mitsu. Now, panel, these 3 young ladies all claim to be Mitsu, designer in high-style suede and leather. Let's start the cross-examination with our own fashion expert, Orson Bean.
You girls look just scrumptious. Mitsu, number 3. I was sent a beautiful suede necktie from Rome, and I got a spot of lentil soup on it. Could I get that off with lighter fluid? I've never known how to get it off. I haven't worn it since.
The suede you can clean with lighter fluid.
I never knew that. Well, this has served me in good stead then. Number 1, you were married in Gibraltar. What animals are the kind of pets of Gibraltar?
Apes.
All right. Number 2, which hotel in Madrid won't take actors?
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Number 3, do you know?
The Ritz Hotel.
Number 1, how are you, dear? That's a beautiful, who's wearing the raspberry thing? Oh, number 2, yeah, that thing snaps off at the bottom and turns into a shorter coat, is that it?
Yes, it does.
Kitty Carlisle.
Number 3, why did you want to make all these clothes out of suede?
Because nobody had done it before.
Number 1, do you know where Rodriguez, the dressmaker, makes clothes?
In Spain.
Where?
In Madrid.
Number 2, does Balenciaga have a workroom in Madrid?
Yes, he does.
Number 3, when you saw the monkeys, did they give you any idea for these suede clothes?
No.
It just came to you. It seems so extraordinary. Number 1, isn't the upkeep on suede very expensive?
No, it isn't. Depends on the quality.
Number 2, what does your suede come from?
From the tanners.
John Poston.
Thank you. Number 3, where is Constantine in North Africa? Do you happen to know?
Number 3?
Number 3.
Istanbul.
Do you know, number 2, where Constantine is? You may be right, number 3. I don't even know. Do you know where Constantine is, number 2?
No, I'm sorry.
Number 1, do you happen to know where...
Constantinopolis?
No, Constantine. Constantine in North Africa.
No.
Well, I was there. I should have asked her about Tulargm. It's even smaller. Number 1, what is the most popular leather used in North Africa?
Mouton.
Which comes from what animal?
From the male of the lamb.
There.
Peggy Cass.
Thank you. Number 3, who is buried at Escorial?
I don't know.
And number 2, what is the closest Spanish city to Gibraltar?
La Linea.
Thank you. Number 1, where is the Costa Brava?
It's on the eastern northern part of Spain.
Thank you. And number 3, where's the Costa del Sol?
In the south of Spain.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have, so take your ballots and your markers in hand and mark your ballots now, if you will, please, with the information you have gleaned. Vote without consultation, of course. Voting for number 1, number 2, or number 3. All ballots are now marked. Tom, for whom did you vote?
I voted for that little lady on the 3rd chair there. I didn't really know much about sewing in leather and so forth, but I thought that goat was the most popular leather in North Africa. So.
Peggy Cass.
Well, I thought I should vote for number 3, but I voted for number 1 because number 3 should have known that all those kings are buried at Escorial. There's millions of them there. So I voted for number 1.
Crowded. Orson Bean.
Well, number 2 didn't know about the Ritz not taking actors. They won't take any. Even Sir Laurence Olivier can't get in there.
Jimmy Stewart did because he said he was a general.
Oh. I voted for number 3 because she looks like a Mitsu to me, and she's cute as a bug's ear.
Kitty Carlisle.
That's an American expression, dear.
I got into the Ritz in
Did you?
Yeah. Maybe it's because I'm not an actress.
Maybe they just don't like Sir Lawrence.
I voted for number 3 because I thought she wore this beautiful dress with the most authority, and she seemed to know a great deal about everything, although number 1 did know that Rodriguez makes clothes in Madrid, but I thought number 3 was the real one.
Well, you flirted with danger again with 3 of them going for the same number. 3 for number 3 and 1 for 1. That's almost unanimous, and it hit you with disaster last time. Let's see what this close proximity to it does this time, as we learn now which one of these 3 young ladies, in truth, is the designer in high fashion for leather and suede. Will the real Mitsu please stand up? You're closer to it this time than you were. Thank you very, very much. And I must say, these things are very exciting and very interesting. Number 1, what is your real name and what do you really do?
My name is Michaela Holmes, and I'm a secretary with Alitalia Airlines.
And number 2, what is your real name and what do you do?
My name is Sheila von Fenjes, and I'm a chemist for Shell Chemical.
Well, the closing shows that there was 1 incorrect vote, and that's the one that brings you $250. Ladies, it also brings you our sincere thanks for sharing this evening with us. Good night, and God bless you. Now, here's a message about a new product for relief of head cold miseries, sinus congestion. Now, let's meet our 3rd team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Lawrence de Milnor.
My name is Lawrence de Milnor.
My name is Lawrence de Milnor.
Finally, you have copies of the story I'm about to read. Take out your copies and follow along with me. I, Lawrence de Milnor, am a ham, an amateur shortwave radio operator. Last summer, I was asked by the United States Information Agency to interrupt my education for a 6-month tour of duty in Russia with an exhibit called Communications USA. I not only helped guide 750,000 Russians through our exhibit, but also had the opportunity to become the first foreign ham radio operator to broadcast from inside the Soviet Union. Altogether, I talked with radio hams in 110 different countries, all of whom found it hard to believe that they were talking to an American broadcasting from the middle of Russia. Signed, Lawrence de Milnor. Now, panel, these 3 gentlemen all claim to be Lawrence de Milnor, ham radio operator with an unusual story. We'd start with our own ham radio operator, Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you, Bud. This is terribly exciting. How did the United States Information Agency hear about you, number 1?
I applied.
Oh, you applied. Good, you're very enterprising. Number 2, are there any language barriers between ham operators? Do they all speak English?
Most of them do, yes.
But what happens if they don't, number 3?
Well, it's kind of hard for them to talk to each other.
Number 2, what frequency do you broadcast on from Russia?
From Russia?
Yeah.
That was 500.
Huh?
500.
500. Number 3, is that the same as in America?
Excuse me, I don't understand.
Is the same wavelength and the same band as in America, 500?
Amateurs can use, the bands used by amateurs are pretty much international.
International. Number 1, how long do you have during the day for your...
Tom Poston.
For my Tom Poston. Number 2, do you ever hear of this Caroline? Do you know what the station Caroline is?
Station Caroline? No, I don't, sir.
Caroline 1 and 2, radio station Caroline 1. Do you know number 3?
No.
You ever heard of them, number 1?
No.
They're that bootleg British broadcasting station out in the beyond the 3-mile limit. You remember we had them on?
Sure, yes.
Number 3, you said that hams have the same wavelength the world over. What difference is there between the wavelengths that they can use? How many do you have, and what is the nature of the difference between the wavelengths you're permitted to use, number 3?
The difference is just in frequency. There are several bands.
I mean, do they range all over the dial?
Peggy Cass, excuse me, Tom.
Thank you. Number 3, how many ham amateur radio operators are there, do you estimate, in the USSR?
In the Soviet Union, as an estimate, I would say 10 to 20,000.
Thank you. Number 2, did you ever speak to anybody in Itursk?
Itursk? No.
Yes? No. Number 1, do you know where Itursk is? I just found out yesterday.
It sounds Russian.
Number 3, where is Ulaanbaatar?
Ulaanbaatar, I
Yes.
think is the correct pronunciation.
Uh-huh.
It is the capital of Outer Mongolia.
Thank you. Number 2, what is the name of the department store in Moscow which corresponds, say, to our Macy's?
Gums. Excuse me, Gums.
Gums.
Orson B.
Number 3, tell me about that town again that you pronounce better than Peggy. What?
Excuse me?
What was the thing?
Ulaanbaatar.
Oh, yeah. Number 3, did you ever hear of Itursk?
Hear of what?
Irkutsk?
Irkutsk.
Well, forget it. I'd have never heard of it myself. Number 1, did you ever talk to Barry Goldwater?
No.
Is he still hanging around the ham set, do you think?
I have no idea.
Number 2, 20,000, would you say that there are that many in Russia?
In Russia, ham operators, yes, there are.
And they're completely free to talk to each other?
To each other?
Yes. On the other hand, the other guys are completely free to listen in, right? All right. Number 3, again, why...
And that's all the time we have, I'm sorry to say. So take your ham sets and mark your ballots, please. Mark them at once in Morse code or any other thing, but mark them. Mark them for the one you think is the real one without any consultation. Vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. All ballots marked. Very well. Tom, for whom did you vote this time?
I voted for number 1. I thought number 3 was too smart to fool around with that kid stuff. And number 2, I don't know why.
Peggy, which do you think is the real one?
He was so much smarter than I was. I had to vote for 3.
Orson B.
Yes, I voted for number 3. He had the chutzpah, to which is a Mongolian word, which means to correct miscast, so I figured he must know what he's talking about.
Kitty.
I voted for number 2. I don't honestly believe that there are 20,000 people in the Soviet Union that are allowed to be radio hams, but I just think it's he looks like the kind of a guy that has that amount of stick-at-itiveness to do a thing like this.
Well, you're playing it safe this time, panel. It's really as widely split as it can be. 1 for number 1, 1 for number 2, and 2 for number 3. Let's go with that and find out at once which one of these young men, in truth, is the ham radio operator who had the thrill of broadcasting from inside Russia. Will the real Lawrence de Milnor please stand up? Incidentally, Lawrence is a graduate student at Tufts University. And did you apply? Is that how you got the opportunity to do this?
To go on the exhibit?
Yes.
That's right.
That must have been quite a thrilling experience.
Very interesting.
Did you find yourself free to talk to a great many hams inside the Soviet Union?
Very many of them.
Bet you could write a book. You better do that. Number 1, what is your real name and what do you really do?
I'm Anthony Abeson. I'm a sophomore at Columbia University.
Thank you. And number 2, what is your real name and what do you do, sir?
My name is John Devereaux, and I work at the top of the Sixes on 5th Avenue. I'm a bartender.
Like John Drew Devereaux?
No,
Are you
he's a
related to John? You related to Jack Devereaux?
And there you have it. Checking the score, we find there were 2 incorrect votes. That's twice $250 for a total of $500, gentlemen. You get to divide. And we thank you very much for sharing your evening with us. We hope you look back on it always as a happy experience. We will. Good night, and God bless you. Right now, let's take time out for a brief film. Back in a minute. That's all we have time for tonight. Incidentally, there is something you can do to help build a better world. Help people help themselves through the Peace Corps. If you'd like further information, simply write to Peace Corps, Washington 25, D.C. Good night, panel.
Good night, Bud.
Good night from Winston. Don't forget to join us the same time next week, and of course, I'll see you tomorrow afternoon at the daytime show. In the meantime, don't you forget to tell the truth. Bye.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.
Stay tuned for fun as Durward Kirby challenges Steve Allen's Secret Guesses, next on CBS.
To Tell the Truth has been brought to you by Tempo, the new filter cigarette with charcoal. Tempo, for taste too good to miss. This is Johnny Olson speaking. For To Tell the Truth, the program was pre-recorded.